I will wait until more colleagues are there. And Tanja, if okay, I will join you to my side. Thank you very much for being here.
Hello to everybody. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to finalize the conference together with you.
It's a pleasure. It was already a pleasure throughout the preparation to be with Jurida and your colleagues in contact, to have opened the conference together. Now we are together in this for the closing as well.
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay, I think that there are a few colleagues who are still close to their coffee. Some are back already. So let's wait for a little bit more. So I just remind everyone to go to the speakers view. So you will have the chance to see not only Tanja and myself a little bit bigger, but we will also now come to a phase where we would like you, the participants, to be also more visible and engaged.
Exactly. Now is your time.
And I see we still have 75 colleagues with us. So we will not make it to bring all of you to the stage, but there will be possibilities for everyone to express her or his points in the last round.
I see in chat that people are saying that we are here. So
okay. So let's just maybe start. Tanja, as previously discussed, I will just briefly give an introduction to all of you, how we plan to manage or to spend together the last hour here online, and then we will engage into a more interactive discussion. The idea of the gathering insights and recommendations part is that we had a lot of panelists until now, but there are also a lot of experts, interested persons who did not have the floor, who were not on a panel, but who have maybe an opinion, something to say, a comment, a suggestion or so. And we wanted to, in a presence conference, it's much easier to do that. But still online, we will try to give also the floor to many of you to see what are your recommendations. Previously, the Regional Cooperation Council and also the Regional Mediation Association, and as we said, it would be a pity to just have this one conference and to stop here, but to rather have a process ongoing, a process that maybe allows us to meet from time to time, and hopefully also a conference in the future in presence whenever the situation allows. And so for us, the next hour will be twofold. We would like to first gather your personal insights, your main takeaways, and your learnings from the conference, so that we have also a summary from many people. And then we would have to like to have recommendations from you. If this is not just a one-time conference, then what would you think it would be good to focus on in the near future, with either additional online panels from time to time, with maybe networking, blog functions. And if we will be able to organize another conference, and we are aiming to do that in cooperation again, in presence sometime in the future, what are your suggestions for potential future conference? And technically, we will ask you to write into the chat when you would like to say something. So my colleagues will be able to spotlight you here, so that you have can have your comment in here. And at the same time, because 70, now we're at 80 participants, will not be able to speak here. At the same time, we would like to offer to anyone who has not, will not take the floor, who doesn't want to or will not have the time, to do something. And I will share the screen to go to a tool that we will briefly show you. It is a Miro board where we will have the possibility for each one to write his or her comment. There are 2 boxes and 2 questions to you. The first one for everyone is my personal insight or takeaway from the conference. We will have that question so people can either have the statement here with an audio so that we can see and hear you. But the ones who cannot or who don't want to be seen can type in. They can just click here. I will just briefly show and then write my personal insight is and write something. You can write that in whatever language you want to. And as a second question, and that's more the outlook towards the future, we have here the possibility to also write something. My personal recommendation for online panels on mediation in the region throughout the next 12 months are. So maybe there's a specific topic you would like to suggest to have an online panel on, or a potential conference focus for 2021. And because there are many people with a lot of insight, we also included a question. Maybe there's a suggestion how you can contribute to the process, to either organizing or taking part in a panel, or maybe organizing something for a future conference. So I will send the link to you in a moment so that all of you can click on the link and can start writing something into this chart. We will come back to this chart briefly before the end. But now we come back to Tanja and myself being interested in hearing what you would like to say. Who would like to take the floor?
Just one addition, I am following chat, so Christoph, maybe to help
Please,
in
Tanja.
that respect. Our friends Gentiana asked, can we have the presentation and the other one, please? So also technical, okay, you add your the web link for this, okay. And the previous one. Mm-hmm. There are several options. You can also write in chat and I will follow, or just take the floor, switching on the microphone in order for you to talk and to take the floor.
Hello.
Who's speaking? Can you please say your name so we can spotlight you?
Sofia Murataj. Faleminderit shumë për mundësinë e dhënë. Unë me të vërtet në këtë konferencë për 2 ditë sa ishim prezent, me të vërtet kam arritur që të vrej një element që është jashtëzakonisht I rëndësishëm, që ndërmjetësimi me të vërtet ka ardhur në një moment kur është duke u konsideruar shumë I rëndësishëm në të gjitha vendet e rajonit, dhe për të njëjtat jemi takuar sot edhe dje që të diskutojmë së bashku për ngritje dhe avancim të kapacitetit të ndërmjetësimit në aspektin e përgjithshëm. Jashtëzakonisht për vete jam shumë I kënaqur që ato çka I kemi diskutuar dhe ato që kam dëgjuar për pjesën e ndërmjetësimit, të njëjtat janë në funksion që në të ardhmen të kemi përsëri bashkëpunime në funksion të ngritjes së kapacitetit të përgjithshme. Më të vërtetë unë duhet ta falenderoj pjesën e CSSP-s dhe të gjithë bashkëpunëtorët për një konferencë të tillë që më të vërtet po shihet që ka qenë e nevojshme dhe është e nevojshme edhe në të ardhmen që ne të diskutojmë lidhur me ndërmjetësimin dhe të arrijmë deri te rrugtimi I përbashkët për avancim të ndërmjetësimit. Ajo që është shumë me rëndësi në kuadër të kësaj është që mos të mbesim vetëm me këtë pjesë, mirë pa ato të cilat dalin si rekomandime, të njëjtat në të ardhmen të jemi në gjendje të materializojmë dhe të ofrojmë kontribut. Unë du vetëm ta përmbylli këtë duke thënë një fjalë që çdo gjë që ndahet pakohet. Do të thotë nëse marrim çfarë do një shkop nëse ndajmë, do të thotë I njëjti ma nuk e ka tërësinë të cilën e ka pas. Të vetmet janë njohuritë profesionale dhe akademike që kur ndahen ato shumohen dhe bartën tek të tjerët dhe që është jashtëzakonisht e rëndësishme që në të ardhmen të arrijmë të kemi bashkëpunime. Unë mbetem I përkushtuar që për pjesën e ndërmjetësimit ato përvojat të cilat I kam gjerë me tani, t'i ndaj me të gjitha shtetet, me të gjithë kolegët, të cilët janë jashtëzakonisht të mirësarur qoftë në të ardhmen në kapacitet të konferenca apo aktivitete të tjera, apo edhe në komunikimin, të themi, individual që të ofrojmë një bashkëpunim. Faleminderit shumë prej gjithëve për këtë mundësi të dhënë, e cila është jashtëzakonisht e rëndësishme për ndërmjetësimin dhe zhvillimin e tij. Faleminderit shumë.
Thank you very much, Professor. If I can jump in, if I understood, sorry to switch on the translation. If I understood properly, you are much more for the conference, and that was one of the leading questions by Christoph, to repeat the conference or smaller type of seminars, workshops, even to go even deeper into the details of the issue. Thank you.
We have got a question in the chat room, and shall I give the floor to the lady?
Please, to Aida Kume, right?
Yes, but she doesn't use her video, her camera. So there's no option to give her the floor.
Carla Schrammel wants to say something.
But you
Carla?
can unmute her, Elmar.
Carla.
Could I quickly say something, just because it
Please.
also fits very well to what Isuf said, because I was impressed actually by the eagerness how the panelists on panel 4 regarding the quality of mediation exchanged, and I had the feeling there was really a lot of room and a lot of interest for exchange and for regional exchange, and we had even like some specific questions where some of the panelists some of the participants wanted to learn from the panelists how they do it, and when it comes, for example, to how to ensure minimum standards for mediators and trainers for mediators. So I just wanted to support what Isuf was saying, and I think in particular the field of quality and how to ensure quality through formal qualification, but also through other measures, it seemed to me has a lot of potential, and a lot of potential for regional and further exchange. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carla. Now
So
we
have Aida, who said she said that she could. Yeah. Yeah.
We cannot hear you. Please. Your microphone is on, but we cannot hear you. Can you please say something, Aida?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not here.
Let's try again. Let's try later. Thank you. Rasim?
I think it's Arta raise a hand or send a message for short comment. Arta. And after that, Arta, you can.
Thank you so much.
Arta Mandro, yeah.
Faleminderit shumë. Ishte një kënaqësi e veçantë për mua që ndoqa punimet e këtij aktiviteti. Meqense është momenti, kam përshtypjen edhe përfundimtar, unë desha të sinjestroja disa nga çështjet që I konsideroj të rëndësishme për veprimtarinë e ardhshme. Ka disa shtylla që do t'i japin sukses ndërmjetësimit. Këto nuk janë të panjohura për ne, por rëndësi ka që t'i zhvillojmë. Dhe të zhvilluara në planin rajonal, ne na jep mundësinë që të marrim përvoja nga vendet që kanë perspektivë të ngjashme me ne dhe t'i adoptojmë ato në vendin tonë, pa mohuar mundësitë që na vijnë nga përvojat e vendeve të demokracive të mëdha. Aty ku ndërmjetësimi është vërtet një përditshmëri. Për mua, kualiteti I ndërmjetësve nga njëra anë dhe shoqëruar me ndërgjegjësimin e fortë të palëve në konflikt dhe të autoriteteve vendase, pra ky trekëndësh mbetet I rëndësishëm. Pa diskutim. Ka disa aktorë që kanë mundësi që të bëjnë epokë në zhvillimin e ndërmjetësimit, dhe për mua këta janë gjyqtarët dhe prokurorët. Sepse kulturalisht shumë çështje vënë në gjykatë dhe në prokurori përpara se të hulumtohen alternativat e zgjidhjes me ndërmjetësim. Mundësitë që këta aktorë të luajnë rol kyç në këtë moment janë të jashtëzakonshme. Sidomos në çështje delikate, siç janë ato që kanë të bëjnë me problematikën e drejtësive për të mitur nga njëra anë dhe problematikat e jetës familjare nga ana tjetër, por pa injoruar të gjitha mosmarrveshjet dhe konfliktet e tjera ku hapësira e ndërmjetësimit është e bollshme. Pra, duke fuqizuar ndërmjetësit, sidomos në rastet kur ata referohen nga gjykata dhe nga prokuroria, unë them që suksesi është shumë I afërt. Duke punuar për ndërgjegjësimin, kjo është një aset tjetër. Jam pro aktiviteteve edhe në format të tillë të gjerë, sepse ne na japin një mundësi dhe një vizion të përgjithshëm, por jam dhe shumë pro aktiviteteve ku trajtohen problematika të veçanta. Më falni që po e nënvizoj, unë jam profesoreshe të drejtës familjare në shkollën e magjistraturës dhe trajtoj dhe problematikën e drejtësisë për të miturit në kontekstin e ndërmjetësimit. Për mua do t'ishte me shumë interes që duke filluar pikërisht nga këto çështje të përditshmërisë të nxehta, të bëhej të shtrohej rruga për përvoja të suksesshme, për modele të suksesshme, për t'i promovuar pastaj edhe në fusha të tjera. Faleminderit shumë, ishte një kënaqësi e veçantë që edhe u ritakova virtualisht me disa nga kolegët.
Atëherë, unë do dëshiroja të shpreja...
Thank you very much.
Unë do dëshiroja të shpreja kënaqësinë që kthehemi pas disa vitesh përsëri për të komunikuar dhe njëkohësisht për të shkëmbyer provoja dhe eksperjenca në fushën e ndërmjetësimit në nivel rajonal. Dhe ajo çfarë është bërë në 2007-2012 përmes SEMF-it, besoj që është një aset, por ndërkohë kemi edhe shumë gjëra për të mësuar nga ajo çfarë ne bëm mirë dhe çfarë nuk bëm dhe pse u ndërprej, por e kaluara le të shërbesi histori dhe të shikojmë çfarë mund të bëjmë për të rritur atë, për të forcuar sinergjinë lidhur me shumë element, shumë çështje që u ngritën gjatë kësaj konference. Për mua do ishte me interes që ndërmjet eventeve siç është kjo konferenca, deri në konferencën tjetër të mund të krijoheshin disa le të themi grupe apo aktivitete që janë në funksion edhe të sugjerimeve të bëra. Si për shembull mund të kemi një follow-up discussion ose një diskutim në grupe më të vogla lidhur me ndryshimin e kulturës së zgjidhjes konflikteve dhe të ndërmjetësimit në rrugë paqësore, ose të diskutohet për të elaboruar më shumë ide rreth quality of mediation and increased professionalism of mediators, ose aspektet të standardizimit dhe kështu me radhë. E thënë me pak fjalë, shikoj si një hap të rëndësishëm drejt një institucionalizimi të një networku tashmë të formatuar dhe të institucionalizuar me tematikat të përcaktuara në mënyrë të veçantë me problematikën e re që ka dalur sot, si për shembull krijimi i ndërmjetësve me aftësi profesionale në fusha të caktuara, siç është për shembull commercial disputes ose family disputes ose penal matter disputes e kështu me radhë. Në këtë pikpamje mendoj që ne duhet të shikojmë çfarë mund të bëjmë ndërmjet dy konferencave, nëse do bëhet konferencë ose nëse mendohet pas 2 vitesh ose pas 1 viti, që gjërat mos mbeten thjesht në letër, por që të kemi hapa të mëdhenshme. që siç edhe u përmend këtu nga Christofi, mund të jetë një blok i përbashkët, një le të themi një social media ose një element i përbashkët i tillë ku të shkëmbehen përvoja dhe njëkohësisht ketë në mënyrë permanente çdo një muaj, çdo 2 muaj, çdo 3 muaj diskutime online ose edhe në forma të tjera për të zhvilluar me tej idet. Faleminderit.
Thank you very much, Rasim. It's good to see you here online, even though it's much nicer in person. Now, I just want to say we have a list actually of people who want to speak, Tanja. We have Yasminka, Vasiliki, Mr. Kocha, and then Aida. Let me start with Yasminka. We will try to bring you on stage. Here you are. Can you hear us? Can you please unmute yourself so we can hear you? Now, should be possible. Sorry, I don't hear anything.
Ne čujemo vas. We cannot hear you.
Okay, now it's better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm very happy because I was part really of this part of this conference, and I'm very happy to be in the future somebody who will share my experience working in Ministry of Justice as a deputy of ministry. And of course, I also was part of a group for preparing our last strategy in reform. And I think since somebody might propose about new ideas about what we can speak in the future. And also it is in connections with mediations, I think. And I'm very near to be retired. But I'll stay with my knowledge how an experience, of course, how somebody I think that somebody told that is when you share your knowledge, that is, it's became bigger, I think. And in the end, I hope that new strategy, you know, that we prepare in Bosnian for 21-27, we have to use for all this problem which we had in our last strategy, but I hope that we learn more and have more skills to better handle all these problems and special mediation.
Thank you very much for your comment. I think that especially most of the people in the mediation system act from a specific angle, maybe from a ministry, from a court point of view, from a mediator's point of view, and especially the ones who maybe jump out of their previous professional role can then also maybe take a different perspective and share that. And I agree that it's very valuable then to share the experience. So I invite you, in case there is something more specific you would like to focus on, to either write in the Miro board or to send us something like an email so that we can also include your experience and know-how into potential future panels. So we have more comments. Can somebody please help me with the order? Now we had Vasiliki.
Oh, sorry. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
And apologies, Mrs. Sorry.
No worries, no worries. It's not a problem. Well, congratulations. I really enjoyed the conference, although I'm sorry I couldn't be part of it yesterday because I had a course, a training course, so I couldn't. I definitely go through the recordings, definitely. Well, congratulations, because not only of the topic, but also from the technical point of view. It was very nice organized. So I am a Greek mediator with not a big experience in mediation. I've been practicing law for many years, and then I graduated as I have been accredited as a mediator. Well, I definitely enjoyed, and congratulations on the topic, because I do think that the promotion of mediations goes through the law schools, the judges, I mean the justice system, and the professionals around justice, which is the barristers or the lawyers, or call them as you like. So I think you have successfully go through the connection between mediation and the judge and the judiciary system in West Balkans. I do propose that, and I was very glad to hear and to see that you had many high court judges. That was a very good point, that they will share with us their experience from their country. And so I do propose for your next conference to be for the whole Balkans, not the West Balkans only, if possible. It would, yeah, it's nice to see around, because we are a part of Europe. I mean, the Balkans, they have their culture, they do have their approach to the law, so it would be nice to hear from all the Balkan countries. And probably the next topic to focus on the law schools, because as I told you, I do think that the three components of justice, law schools, judges, and lawyers, if they cooperate, they could promote mediation. Yeah, so that's my suggestion for your next conference, which I definitely look forward. And I think once we switch off our computers, get started and prepare your next one. I'd like to see another one coming up. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you. Durrës District Court, Mr. Kocha.
Faleminderit. Unë desha t'ju falenderoj për mundësinë që më dhatë që t'jem pjesë e kësaj konference. E gjitha shumë interesante, sidomos kombimin e eksperiencës e marrjen informacionit nga vendet e tjera, të cilat për të vërtetës duhet të thënë që janë nga rezultatet shumë më përpara se sa jemi ne në fushën e ndërmjetësimit. Kjo nuk na bën pesimist, përkundrazi tregon që me përpjekje nga gjitha aktorët në proces, gjyqtarët, ndërmjetësit, avokatët, në një farë mënyrë, nëse punojmë gjithë bashkë në grup koordinuar, mund të kemi rezultate shumë të mira në të ardhmen. Meqense pritin sugjerime, ajo që unë sugjeroj në ndërmjet deri në konferencën e ardhshme do të ishte krijimi një blogu apo një linku që të ofrojë informacion për çfarë kanë arritur vendet e ndryshme, eksperiencën e ndryshme, sepse e diskutuam që nganjëherë dhe mungesa e informacionit, mungesa e shpërndarjes së eksperiencave të mira është një nga faktorët që na ka penguar që të ecim përpara fushën e ndërmjetësimit. Dua të them që të ketë mundësi çdo gjyqtar, çdo ndërmjetës shqiptar, bosnjak, serb, të ju të shikoj eksperiencat më të mira në mënyrë që në të ardhmen të ketë mundësi të implementoj këto eksperienca në punën e përditshme në funksion të rritjes rasteve të ndërmjetësimit dhe të rezultateve pozitive nga ndërmjetësimit. Ju falenderit.
Thank you, Mr. Kocha. Christoph, what is with Mrs. Aida? Shall we try again with her as she is waiting?
We are having another try with a microphone. Does it work now? No, unfortunately not. Okay.
I am sorry, but obviously.
Maybe I can use in the meantime, you can write in the blog here in the blog.
Can you try again?
On the side, in the commenting function, you can state your name if you want to also say something. If you want to add something. I also want to add that we have the website of the conference is also supposed to become a blog. So it was already mentioned that we should stay in contact. And what we could offer is that we use the website more as an interactive hub and as a blog, where we saw this morning that there were people with a science academia, that we have reports and findings, papers being published there, and that we could use it also whenever there are future panels to highlight these on the website. So to make out of the conference website more an interactive blog, that is one thing. I also wanted to briefly mention the Miro board that I suggested in the beginning. There are a few comments. Tanja, would it be okay for you if I just read out a few comments? It would be good to continue the discussion among peer practitioners in order to reach the desired changes in which the experience of others can be much useful. And there are other comments. I'm impressed by the need and relevance of the regional exchange, someone writes. So something that we were assuming in the beginning, but obviously there's a need or an interest to exchange not only within the countries, but also across the countries. Aida, we keep on trying. We don't want to give up. Can you try another time? And if that doesn't work, we will have to see who's next. Or someone who could translate the question or the comment.
Oh, I don't see any raised hand. And on the chat, I think that we exhausted the list of those who wanted to speak. And they are informing us that this is Kume, Aida is actually having a problem with her cellular phone. So.
Okay, then if we see that there is no possibility to bring Aida in, then we have unfortunately to.
I am so sorry, Mrs. Kume, and I really I'm grateful that you are trying, but obviously we have some technical issues there.
Then let me just take a moment more to see whether there are additional questions or comments that somebody would like to take the floor. And I will, in the meantime, just read out a few more things from the Miro board. Somebody is writing, it would be good to continue a series of thematic and practical online meetings or panels in the upcoming months. Of course, a face-to-face conference would be always good whenever possible. There's also repeated willingness shown to join the organization of a panel or to help supporting bringing up a panel. So I think that is it, because there are a few comments that unfortunately I cannot translate so fast. So there are no more questions. I think that maybe if there are no more questions, then it's our turn, Tanja, to maybe see what is our takeaway, what are our learnings, and what is our outlook and recommendations for the future?
Exactly. Shall I start, as you are much more of the expert in this area than I am, but I am grateful, especially to Yurida, my dear colleague from the RCC, as she was following, and not only following, she was not mediating, but moderating the previous session, if I'm not wrong, Yurida Shutai. And she followed very closely the developments during those 2 days of the conference, a lot of participants. And she actually prepared some of the notes that I would like to share with you, starting with, again, being extremely grateful to our partners and co-organizers, CSSP Berlin Center, and the International Association of Mediators from Southeast Europe for the organization of the conference, which started with the hiccups, but actually, according to your opinion, I mean, technical hiccups, according to your opinion, generate a very good feeling of exchanging the knowledge and even going further with sharing the experience in such a specific area as the mediation is. This interplay between the mediation and justice system is obviously, as you discussed, challenged by the variety of factors. And you point them out, you demonstrated them in those past 2 days, and notice the similarity across the Western Balkan region. Whilst there are continuous concern on the efficiency of the judiciary system and lengthy court procedures, which are obvious, mediation is there to provide a desirable alternative, which contributes the reduction and of the caseload in courts and exercise the right to fair trial within a reasonable time. In that respect, mediation could be and has to be promoted, as you all agree, as a tool to combat corruption. Despite many benefits, we all agree that the mediation in the Western Balkan region has still to reach its full potential. And this type of learning from each other, professional experience, good practices, but challenges as well, is an important factor to promote and strengthen the mediation, as we heard even today out of you. We in the RCC since 2016, and through the establishment of the Southeast European Association of Mediators Network, we contributed to regional experience in exactly that way, sharing and joint work towards common initiatives to raise also public awareness on mediation among both legal and business community, but also among the general public. We are much more than confident that the regional cooperation of Association of Mediator, Judiciary, and other important stakeholders is added value and benefit from the region, and a valuable example of cooperation of government, judiciary, and CSO. Therefore, conclusion of this conference are of the great importance in the aspect as they will be used as a starting point for regular meeting and exchange, as Christoph tried to gather as much as it possible of your opinion, and through Miro board even more. Obviously, with a positive note, I would like to conclude on behalf of the RCC, reiterating our commitment in further supporting the cooperation and capacity building in the Western Balkans and Southeast Europe in order to improve the role of alternative dispute resolutions through a regular exchange of good practices and experiences and awareness raising activities. Especially, I am grateful to all participants to endure until the very end of the conference in such a vast number especially online. I have to admit, I think that we are all sick and tired of this different type of video platforms, but at least we use them for the benefit of exchanging the knowledge and the cooperation. Back to you, and thank you very much, Christoph.
Thank you, Tanja. My maybe takeaways from the conference, there's everything that you said that I can underline. And there's something I would like to come back to, I said yesterday, and that's the topic of trust. What I find, it might sound very basic, but how do you actually establish trust? Trust, we said, is needed for a functional mediation system between the mediation system and the justice system to be very well interlinked, for the various actors and the parties to actually actively engage, and so that the system can work. And trust usually is established when people start interacting, when they meet, when they get to know each other. And that sounds very basic, but it's unfortunate that we cannot meet in person, but online, just online right now. But we make use of the time until we can finally meet in person and start or continue working on the trust. I personally and my colleagues are working in various countries in the region on with mediators, with judges, with ministries of justice. And what I find always very interesting is that there are obstacles in the different countries, in the different systems. But my personal takeaway from the last years is that once there's trust established between the different actors, then the system can also run much smoother. I think that the technicalities in terms of legal framework and regulations and whatnot, what's there, is always something that can be overcome rather easily. But the trust is something that needs time, and it needs a lot of interaction. And so it's also in this slide that I'm very happy that we had a lot of participants here, and that there's such an interest and shown to continue the exchange, because that is, despite all the technicalities and the expertise, one of the key aspects also to make the systems working individually much better, but also their interaction. Let's not forget that in the Western Balkan or Southeast Europe, there are a lot of people going back and forth. There's a lot of business. So there's also a lot of potential for cross-border, for regional mediation approaches. And I think that this is also one reason why this intra-regional exchange should be continued. So that is my takeaway, the trust aspect. What I would like to see in terms of Outlook is that I just want to communicate, and I don't say that just by myself, but also from the entire team of CSSP, that we'd be happy to continue with the RCC. It's been a splendid cooperation also with the Regional Mediation Association to continue with activities like panels, like a blog, but at the same time, we would not like to impose anything or come up with something that is not really used later on. So be assured that we will come back to you on your specific suggestions. Panels might have to be built up by some of you, so that you have actually maybe a specific suggestion, a specific judge, a specific mediators who says there is a topic, a question I would like to explore further. Can we maybe think about organizing a panel together? And my colleagues from the Regional Cooperation Council, Stipe Sola, my colleagues and myself, we gladly take that up, because a panel does not need the same organizational level like this conference. As for a future conference, we cannot make any promises at this point of time, but already having been exchanged before, we are aiming to make it real, to have an in-person conference whenever it's possible. Now, from my side, there's also a number of thank yous I would like to spread out. First, to the participants, because we're still at 80 more participants. I found that there was a good interaction. It is not easy to have an online meeting with 3 different languages through such a distance. I know that there's a general online meeting fatigue also after all these months of pandemic. I'm talking also about myself. So I'm very grateful for the great number of participation and your interest, for the panelists who contributed and shared their experience and their know-how. Tanja, and also to your colleague Yurida, I think that it has been a great cooperation. Before, the Regional Cooperation Council was this big flagship for me, I have to say, and it became not only much more personal, but I think that it's a great a combination where we are trying to bring in a specific topic of mediation, but you, the Regional Cooperation Council, are really the actor for the regional exchange. And therefore, I'm really happy that we made this together, and I'm looking forward to do that further together. That goes also out to Mr. Stipe Sola. Thank you, Stipe, for being there. I see CSSP more as a supporter, while the regional association should be the one in the long run and necessary continuous driver of the process. Please let us know how we can support you and your colleagues, and we'd be happy to do that. Also, the German Federal Foreign Office, the Ambassador Uber is not here anymore, but it's also with the funding of the German Federal Foreign Office that we were able to realize that, not exclusively, also from EU funding and the Regional Cooperation Council, but it was also substantial support from the German Federal Foreign Office, and I want to thank them for that. Last but not least, I want to thank all my colleagues. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different offices. Many colleagues now that you see on the screens somewhere there, who were all more invisibly supporting in the background. I don't know how many hundreds of messages we were exchanging yesterday and today just in the background in order to make that happen. And I really want to thank you, and a special thanks goes out to my colleague Christoph Wertmann, who was the coordinator and main organizer for the conference and making that happen. It's really a pleasure to do that. Before I hand over to him, is there anything else that you, Tanja, would like to add before I give the word to Christoph?
As you said, I will only repeat your words in terms of the good cooperation, and really we are standing very firm for the continuation of cooperation as our role. Yes, it is to be the umbrella for the regional initiatives and gathering the best knowledge in terms of progressing each and every of the Western Balkan 6, but the region as such too. Thank you very much.
Tanja, thank you very much. I hope to see you soon in person. I will hand over to Christoph Wertmann. He will explain us a little bit more about a few technicalities, but he will also explain to us, I think, one aspect I can already share beforehand is that we're not closing this conference window immediately, because there might be a few interactions among yourself once we officially close it. So you can interact more on the chat, or some may be able to take the floor more informally. So I will disappear from this moment and hand over to you, Christoph. Thank you, Christoph, again for the organization. I know that you have not been the only one, but you have been the center point for organizing that. I'm deeply grateful for that. Thank you, Christoph.
Yeah, thank you very much, Christoph, for handing over. And of course, I cannot talk about technicalities before also expressing a few thanks. I'm really thankful for the cooperations, and also for my colleague Carla, visible now. She was a great sparring partner and almost co-coordinator in the organization of this event. And I'm really, really thankful for your interest and your commitment, and that leaves me hopeful for the next months that we will be able to organize a few more events that will be helpful in the respective countries. Now I'm getting to, and of course also translation. I asked whether they would be ready. You would be ready to switch on your video, but let's see. Okay, a few technicalities. After finishing in a few more moments, we will leave the Zoom room open so you can still connect to other people. I mean, that's one of the main purposes of this event. We will also share email addresses between you, send a list around. You already gave your consent when signing up for the conference. If that has changed, please just write me an email. Also, any other feedback or suggestions in the meantime that come to your mind after the conference, just send me an email. It's also on the homepage balkanmediation.org. And I would like to remind the panelists that they have the opportunity to hand in articles until the 15th of November that will then also be translated and published on the homepage. We also started a research on mediation systems with our assistant researchers, Judith and Miriam, about the mediation systems in the respective countries, and we would like to be able to get back to some of you for checks, and we see it as a learning process. We will put that on the homepage and hope that you can also help us with adjustments so that each country and maybe more countries get like mediation systems profiles on that homepage. Okay, what else? About certificates, I might have not been able to answer to all of you, but if you checked in the registration form that you want a certificate of attendance, you will get one. If you asked me before and I didn't confirm, you will also get one, and I might get back to you during the next days. So don't worry, you will definitely get one, even if I haven't answered yet. So
now we have a sign, Christoph, that our dear translators would be ready to be brought in order to give the floor to the ones who helped us to communicate in 3 languages.
Yeah, then I would like to all my co-hosts to help spotlight the translators, and please everyone on speaker view. So Aladdin, good to see you. We all only communicated via messages. Yeah, good to see you too. Everyone with co-host rights. Yeah. Yeah, it was really good to see you. Thanks a lot for your service. And I just would like, there are a few more, I believe, or only if.
Yeah, maybe some are more shy than the others.
Yeah. Okay, then everybody please clap or use just like I do. It was really a great job and huge effort. The distance, parallel panels, then everything online, and wow, thanks a lot. And also say, I don't see Merita, a lot of thanks to Merita and also Arif, who couldn't join us because unfortunately he got sick just before the conference. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Then for concluding 2 sentences, I can hand back to you, Christoph and Tanja, if you like, or
you can close, I think.
Okay. So then, thanks a lot for your commitment to the topic, and let's keep in touch and organize something during the next months. Anything, any concern or suggestion, just write me, and I will also get back to you in a few days with an email to everybody, sharing the presentations again and sharing email lists. Thanks a lot. Then have a great afternoon and weekend.
We will now also enable everyone to speak. If you change to gallery view, then you might be able to see and greet a few of your fellow colleagues, or to have a mix of conversation.
Yeah, of course. When you can say goodbye out loud, just enable your mic and just say something before you leave if you like. And use the chat, also connect to people you spotted and you haven't had the chance yet. We will leave the Zoom room open until 1:15. So you have another 20 minutes if you would like to. Thanks again.
Thank you all.
Thanks again, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you all.
Grazie.
Bye bye.
Pozdrav svima, hvala.
Thank you so much.
Faleminderit shumë. Falam puna.
Ja. Hvala puno, faleminderit shumë.
Danke.
Danke.
Das stimmt.
Da, Popo.
There we go.
Smilka, it was such a great pleasure for me to see you again. Unfortunately, distance, but still, it's great pleasure to have you on board all the time. As also with all colleagues and partners around the world.
You're muted.
Ciao, Edmund.
Yeah, I ask you to unmute Smilka and Emir. Good to see you together. Emir, please click unmute so Smilka can say something.
I really hope that soon we'll be able to get all together and really physically have our normal exchange and big hugs, as always we do. Smilka, you are shining.
Yeah, thanks, love.
Greetings to Sarajevo.
Hi, Smilka. Good to see you. Want to see you in person one day.
Thank you, Christoph. See you.
We hope so much to meet in Mostar this year, but
yeah.
COVID.
Will happen in springtime.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Smilka. Thank you for your contribution.
Dear Carla, thank you. Thank you. Consultations with you were useful, beautiful, effective, everything.
Yeah, same to you. I enjoyed very much the cooperation. Thank you, Smilka.
And I thank Judge Kocha and Brunilda, who have been here for the entire time, and really thank you very much from the side, from bringing the Albanian side in.
It was my pleasure. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Well, the invitation is not over. We will continue knocking in your door more often. Don't worry.
Plus, we will continue talking. So unless you leave, we will just stay here.
Will be a new format, the after conference.
Typical CSSP style.